Tuesday, June 9th, 2024. Margot, please take it away.
I, Margot G.K., the town clerk of the town of Morristown, do hereby state that it is 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, and this regular meeting is being held in council chambers, 200 South Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. I will take a roll call. Councilwoman Foster. Here. Councilman Iannaccone.
Here.
Councilwoman Lindsay is excused this evening. Councilman Flipchuk.
Here.
Councilman Russo.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Present.
And Council President Umbriac.
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. If we can please pause for a moment of silence. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, I just want to make sure that all members of the council received 2 add-ons. Consent agenda item number 4, the facilities use request for the Family and Friends reunion on August 4th, and also that you all received a copy of Resolution R-130-2024, which was also placed at table. That is a resolution authorizing a grant application. I also wanted to announce that we are accepting applications for an upcoming Morristown Housing Authority vacancy. There is a 5-year commissioner term becoming available on September 5th, ending September 4th, 2029. So if you have any candidates in mind, we'll be posting that vacancy tomorrow, and kindly spread the word.
Thank you.
Get some good candidates. Okay, thank you. On the consent agenda, there are 5 items. Unless a member of council would like to pull one for some consideration, I would ask for a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
On the adoption of the consent agenda, Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Umbriac.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on any matter.
Come on up.
Please state your name, please state your name and address for the record. Kindly keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Any derogatory comments targeting members of council or administration may be ruled out of order.
All right. My name is Andre Calvit Harris. I'm a member of the Manahan Village community. I've lived in Manahan Village community since the early 90s. So for over 30 years, about 30 years. I guess my first reason for being here today, this is my 3rd time standing in front of the town council, which will probably be my last time standing in front of you guys. Hoping to move in the next year or so. So unfortunately, I'll be leaving this beautiful place that I've called my home since my family moved here in the early 90s. But my first town council meeting here, I spoke about the barrier in Clyde Potts Drive. When you drive down Flagler Street, making a left into Clyde Potts, there was a barrier that was there where you couldn't get out of. It was a one-way in and out. I'm happy to say that I've seen that they've actually started the process of removing that barrier and actually making it into a one-way exit. So when I'm actually getting chills and goosebumps right now because of the text messages and the calls that I was getting from the community, just saying like, Andre, did you go see it? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? So when I got all those text messages, the first thing I knew I had to come up here and do is what I do in the classroom. So I'm also a substitute teacher in the Mars School District, the Mars Plains School District. I coach the middle school basketball team at Freeland-Heisen, but one thing I always tell our kids and try to challenge them, it shouldn't always be negativity, right? If someone's doing something good, you get positive reinforcements as well. So the first thing I wanted to do, coming up here and speaking, is saying thank you guys. Like, I don't even think you guys know the magnitude of even just what's going on with making it into one way. It's the mental aspect of it for that community down there is everything. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for just listening. Just not even listening, but doing it. Just doing it, and the process, and it's starting to open up, and that's a beautiful thing for that community and for all of us, right? Because it's about Morristown being a community, and we can't be a community if all of us, our lives are pretty good. So first, I just want to say thank you for that. The actual reason I'm here is because the last 4 or 5 years out of Caldwell Playground, I run basketball open runs for adults, ages from 18 all the way up to 40. I'm 40. I play with I call them the Young Lions. Anyone from 18 to 25, I call them, Young Lions, because they're out there. I run open runs. The numbers have started growing. The competition has gotten really well. We're going on 6 years now, where Sundays from 1 to 5, Wednesdays from 6 to 8, Fridays from 6 to 8. We have really good games at Caldwell, and not one single punch has been thrown. Not one. And I like to think that it has something to do with me and my ties to the community. I've gone through Morris School District, from Alexander Hamilton to Freeland-Heisen Middle School to Morristown High School, which is where I found my love for basketball. My love for basketball was able to carry me to Centenary College, where I was able to graduate, finish with a bachelor's degree in math, a minor in economics, and I come back to my community, and I just want to be able to give that same love and that drive that I had when I was 10 years old, moving into 1802 Clyde Potts Drive. Caldwell Playground was my outlet. It really was my outlet. Being able to go on that court, play basketball for hours, it actually helped me. I wanted to bring this. It says, Harris, a Casbro protege, former colonial, looks to home skills at Centenary College. I show all of the middle school kids this, and I let them know this is equivalent to 50 likes now. If you were in the Star Ledger, like if you were in the paper, if you made the paper, this was equivalent to your million views and your million likes. This was it. I'm getting goosebumps. I remember walking around in school at Morristown High School in the atrium, showing everybody, like, I'm on the paper. Look at old me. I'm on the paper. But I'm here today because I would like, during the summertime, it gets hot during the day. So I would really like to start having some night games where we can start playing a little after dark. So even if we could get the lights on till 10 o'clock during the week, and even on a Friday till 11, just so that we're able to play. Because on a Sunday we were playing, and it was maybe 91. And don't get me wrong, I would love for one Sunday for you guys to come out and just watch. Just watch
Mr. Harris, I'm so sorry, your 5 minutes are up. So
all right, but that's it. Yes, but it's more so I'm here. I would like to just have the lights on. If we can have the lights on at Caldwell Playground a couple nights a week, Fridays to maybe 10 or 10:30. That's all I'm here for. And last but not least, she deserves it. You guys deserve it. The new Morristown Recreation Director is amazing. Samantha G, she's amazing. One of the times I was up here, I was one who had issues with the last Morristown Recreation Director. From the moment, the first email, we kicked it off. The new Morristown Recreation, Samantha G, she got it. You guys did good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
All good. Anyone else from the public want to come up and speak? Yes, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Jason Olmo, 24 Cottage Place.
I'm sorry, can you please spell your last name?
OLMO.
Thank you.
Sure. So I'm here today after already speaking with the fire department, fire chief, police department. I've reached out to the EPA. I believe the director of property maintenance and the zoning officers all know the issue. I'm essentially here begging for help for my family. So the situation is our next door neighbor has a tree cutting business. They go cut trees for other properties, commercial, residential, and instead of disposing of the wood in a proper manner, they bring it home to the residence that's next to our property. Both of our residences are on lots that are 0.1 acre, so less than even a quarter of an acre. We're talking about a very tight-knit community here. The problem with this is it's not a proper treated wood. It's not dried. These are fresh trees being cut and brought to residents to be disposed of by burning. Morning, noon, night, carrying through into the wee hours of the morning. This is impeding on our ability to live inside the home as well. This is not just an outside thing. We have had to spend over $20,000 replacing all of the windows in my home because the old windows were actually leaking smoke through. So we took it upon ourselves to actually do that and get all new windows in our home. The problem with that is once spring, summer, and even fall, depending on the weather, run along, you've seen how hot it has been. We do not have central air conditioning. We have window AC units. So now these new windows no longer are a barrier for this smoke to our home. You can walk through a nice, cool home and immediately walk through our house and start to smell smoke billowing in. We then, me and my wife, have to make a decision. We have a 7-month-old daughter who has a persistent cough. Now, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Take it easy. Take a deep breath.
Wait,
Relax. Relax.
We have to make the decision whether to, on a daily basis, pull out our air conditioning units from the windows and live in an 85 to 90 degree home so that our daughter doesn't have to breathe the smoke, or leave the window units in and have a cool home that our air filters literally say on our app is poor quality air whenever the smoke is gone. And our daughter has to live through this on a daily basis. All I'm asking is maybe for some ordinances, which I'm told are the only thing that might be able to help because I have had the fire department and police department address the situation. And I've taken a look at other municipalities and some ordinances and things that they do that I think could really benefit my family. If I have a minute to just say a couple that I put together from looking at other towns and such as like in Hoboken where the buildings are so close together. They only allow wood to be of specially treated woods, meaning bought for the specific purpose of burning, not from a commercial, cutting down trees that are fresh, creating this smoke that is constant. Being able to have fires that are outside the distance from any structures, including fences. No unattended fires. We're talking about people that are lighting fires and leaving for the day with nobody home to watch a fire pit that is 4 by probably 4 wide. And then at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, once they're done outside putting fire on, going to sleep and leaving it to smolder all through the night. So we can't even put our air conditioners back in at night to get some relief there. Fires, police to be distinguished, maybe at noise ordinance times to correlate morning and night. Maybe smokeless fire pits, for lots under a quarter of an acre. Just some things like this I think would help my family. Thank you so much.
Could you do me a
Thank
favor?
you.
Could you give her your phone number?
Yes.
That's all.
Anyone else from the public? Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kevin Felice. I'm with Miller and 40 North Restaurant Group at 25 Washington Street. Here to kind of talk about an item that's farther down the agenda tonight in the old and unfinished business category about liquor licenses and the Sunday hours of operation. Want to come kind of speak to give some context of where we're coming from. So we love Morristown. We represent 3 liquor licenses in Morristown as well as multiple properties. We believe in this town. We love this town. We continue to invest in this town. One of the odd things with this ordinance is it makes us not competitive to surrounding towns. So currently the ordinance calls for a noon on Sunday start time for alcohol being served at restaurants that serve alcohol allowed to be open. A lot of the surrounding towns are much sooner and earlier in the morning, so 7 a.m. in Mendham, 9 a.m. in Summit, which are other towns that we operate in. We would just love the opportunity to be able to host baby showers, bridal showers on Sunday mornings. They want to start early. After wedding breakfasts that, you know, people were at the wedding the night before, they stay at our hotels here in town, they want to be able to book an event in the morning. We would like the opportunity not have to continually say no to them. We feel like allowing these licenses to serve earlier doesn't, I know there's a lot of other issues out there, but in the environment that we're speaking about, at least, that, you know, they're, it's no different than Saturday morning. And having that Sunday morning allows Morristown to be competitive to the surrounding towns, allows people to enjoy the restaurants and the atmosphere that all these other businesses have created. And we feel like it's something that could help Morristown stay up with the town around us and the surrounding businesses that compete for, you know, wanting Morristown to be first. So, I just wanted to bring it up. Thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? All right, I'll close public session. Council response to the public hearing comments.
Mr. Harris, I just wanted to say, thanks for what you do for the community. I was a basketball player at Whitby Park. Don't hold it against me. A little older than you. But some of my best memories as a kid were playing organized pickup ball. So the people who organize that, you know, like I said, provide some of my best memories. So keep up the good work over there and keep being a great asset to the community. So it just got me thinking I want to say that to you in the public eye. So thank you. Thank you.
And I echo Christopher, so you know, we've been a long time, you know, neighbors. I used to live in Manhattan Village, so it is good to see, you know, young people actually care about young people, want to keep them off the streets, give them something to do. And I do appreciate, you know, your accolades that you show us and everything that you're doing with the community. And I think what you're asking for, you know, we can ask the administration to see, you know, for the harmony and holding it. But I do hear about the basketball games, and I've heard nothing but positivity about it. And I am going to come down and check it out and see it work.
Yes, Sundays, it's a good feel in the community on Sundays. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just echo what's already been said. I've seen Mr. Harris down at Caldwell at different events, basketball games, lifeguarding.
Yes, I'm also the pool director.
So you wear many hats in the community. And,
Absolutely.
you know, it's unfortunate that you're going to be leaving the community because you bring so many great attributes to the youth within Manhattan Village. So, you know, you came to thank us, but we really should be thanking you for all that you've done. Like Chris said, I mean, you know, I grew up a swimmer, a competitive swimmer, so I remember fondly, like, you know, the coaches and the mentors and the, you know, even to this day. So keep doing what you're doing. You're a bright light in the community, so appreciate you. Mr. Olmo, I know that you gave your phone number to our business administrator. I think, you know, it made me kind of tear up a little bit when you teared up. I have 4 small children, so I can understand. And I don't understand how that can really be done. I defer to the administration for a comment on that. And then, Mr. Felice, we will be discussing that, your comments about liquor licenses on Sunday during old business. Any other comments?
I just want to echo for Andre what my fellow council members have said. I don't know if after you move you will continue working with youth in Morristown, because I think that's important. That's a very important work here, and I'm sure administration will accommodate something to help you with that. With Mr. Olmo, I'm sure also the administration will take matters, put their hands on that matter, because it is a very important health issue for your children.
All right, thank you. Let's move to the report of the mayor and town officials.
All right, I'll just briefly talk about Mr. Harris. Thank you so much. I'll miss you. And wherever you're going, they're going to be fortunate to get you. So as he used to say, I'll date myself a little bit, happy trails. And what you've done for our community is fantastic, and what you're about to do for your next part of your journey is going to be great too. Because that's who you are. And it's a beautiful thing. As far as your issue, she knows yelling at me if I'm on the mic. As far as the issue with the smoke, yeah, you've done the right thing. You've reached out to everybody you could reach out to, and now you've reached at the highest level you can. It it did not fall on deaf ears. We will start addressing it tomorrow and figure our way out to make sure that you're comfortable and your child's comfortable, and clearly we can feel and see the emotion that you brought here, and that's what this is all about. You know, it's government standing up for people and helping people when they need help, and that's our job. Their job, my job, her job, his job, and we'll get the job done. You're welcome. Okay, go through the.
Yes, sir.
I can hear. Can you hear me? They all
It's
can hear
hard for
me.
me to tell right now.
Sir, if you could just project a little.
No,
That's
you don't want me to project. I projected pretty loudly if I'm.
No.
Yeah, now we hear it.
You don't want me to project, because if I'm projecting, it's usually not good. Right, David?
That's right.
Tuesday, July 9th, we today, which is today, Chris Russo and myself attended, and Jen Waring, I believe she's here. Wave your hand in the back, there she is. We're at Cafe India for the reopening. They've done renovations inside, and they have some history. They've been here a long time, and they're claiming to be the first Indian restaurant in Morristown. 90s. So they're still there. The new owners have been there about 12 years, and they've renovated the inside. So if you like Indian food, go check out Cafe India. It was nice. It was a little hot today, and we all know that. So we're glad to see that they're staying in town and reinventing themselves and spending money in renovating the restaurant. July 16th and 17th. Those who don't know yet, I'm hoping Kevin make sure he puts it out there in Morristown Green. And where's Ingrid? She left? Oh, so she puts it out too. The mobile DMV is going to be here from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. That is an excellent. That is the 16th and 17th of July. That's Tuesday and Wednesday. From 9 to 2, mobile DMV unit will be at the town hall parking lot. Registration required for real ID. We are all going to be required to get a real ID by a certain date. Sometime in May of 2025, I believe it is. Registration renewal, initial permit, non-driving ID, duplicate replacement title of registration, limited walk-up availability for license plate returns and handicapped place cards. To register, they do have walk-up, but to register, which would make it a lot easier for you, townofmorristown.org/calendar, or scan the QR code on any of the flyers posted throughout Town Hall. It is a great benefit to our community to have the DMV mobile unit come here, because people don't really get a chance to get out, give it to DMV, and sometimes they're busy and to drive, go to Randolph or whatever it is up off of 10. We used to have one in Morristown, in case you didn't know it. We used to have one on Spiegel Avenue, which was great. But our great thinking of our state took it out of Morristown. But it's something that's really good for the town, so and for the citizens and even the surrounding citizens. So if you guys can get that out there, we'd really appreciate it, like constituents now. The 18th of July, there was a recreation division is doing movie night at Litchfield Park. Trolls band together. That's at 7:30 p.m. I think you'll all be there, right? 7:30 to watch the Trolls. Yeah, okay. I want to see who goes to that. That's July 18th at 7:30 at Lidgerwood. 7:30 p.m. is the Verizon 5K. He'll be there. Starts and finishes in Morristown High School. That is on the 18th of July. Sunday, July 21st, noon to 5 at Diversity Day Festival at Morristown Green, hosted by Presbyterian Church and Diversity Coalition of Morris County. You can learn more at www.diversitymc.org. That's diversitymc.org. That is Sunday, the 21st of July. Did you get an email today?
I did.
Okay. Saturday, July 27th.
Hope Festival.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Say it.
Yes, on the 27th, Central Biblical Church will be hosting the Hope Festival. For many years, we hosted a festival at the Green, but since the pandemic, we moved to Coumcil Park, and I think that we have a greater success. We will have hamburgers, hot dogs, water, games for the children, entertainment. It will be a great time for families to come out from 12 noon to 5 p.m. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. On August 6th, 11 a.m., ribbon cutting for Ship of Morristown located at 44 Washington Street. A new business that offers mailboxes, notary, packing, shipping, and printing services. Okay, and a couple of special announcements. Motown Heroes program. We like to keep announcing, honoring Morristown veterans with banners across town. Each banner features name, branch of service, and photo of honored veteran. Applications can be found at Town Hall or by visiting townofmorristown.org/Motown Heroes. And there is a flyer, and it's on the website. So if anybody wants to go to the website, which is townofmorristown.org. As many of you know, retired Police Sergeant Brendan Briscoe passed away on July 1st. He started as a police officer in January of 1998 and retired April 1st, 2023. He worked foot and bicycle patrol as a detective and a patrol sergeant. Our deepest condolences to the Briscoe family. They're a well-known family in Morristown, been here for a very long time. He had a valiant fight with cancer, so when you see a police officer, keep in mind that they've lost one of their own, and he was a special guy. Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Okay, council liaison reports. Councilman Russo?
The last planning board meeting we didn't have in June, but we have one coming up at the end of this month. So.
Okay, me too. Thank you.
Morris Parking Authority will meet next Wednesday, the 17th.
Councilman Wilczek?
Partnership meeting is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So next meeting.
Okay. So everybody has an upcoming meeting. Wonderful. Okay, let's move on to regular business, Mark. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. There is one ordinance on the agenda for introduction this evening. That is ordinance O-22-2024, ordinance amending and supplementing Article 11, inspections and status reports, Chapter 13, specifically Sections 13-74, inspection and report fees of the Town of Morristown Municipal Code.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-22-2024.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions? Okay, on the introduction of ordinance O-22-2024, Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone.
Yes.
Councilman Polypchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Ordinance O-22-2024 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on August 6th. There are two ordinances for public hearing and adoption. Ordinance number O-20-2024, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, for compensation for management/non-union positions in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-20-2024.
Second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for public comment on ordinance O-20-2024 only. Seeing none, any comments or questions from council? On the adoption of ordinance O-20-2024, Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Polypchuk?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Umbreak?
Yes.
Ordinance O-20-2024 is adopted. Ordinance number O-21-2024, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, for compensation for the elected mayor, town council members, and council president in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-21-2024.
Second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for public comment on ordinance O-21-2024 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council? On the adoption of ordinance O-21-2024, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Ordinance O-21-2024 is adopted. There are 8 resolutions on the agenda for adoption. Would members of council like to pull any for separate consideration?
130, please.
130? Are there any others? Okay, with that, I would ask for a motion to adopt resolution numbers 123-2024 through 129-2024.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
On the adoption of those resolutions, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Ordinance R-130-2024, resolution of support for Morristown Town Council authorizing a 2024 Morris County Trail construction grant application.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-130-2024.
Second?
Councilman.
Just a quick question. Granted, this is a grant application, not a project. The master plan for Burnham Park had the path going all the way around both ponds, and this one is showing just the lower pond. It doesn't preclude us from doing another trail.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
This is just one phase.
Yeah, I just had a few neighbors ask me, so.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, on the adoption of resolution R-130-2024, Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Flipchuk.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Umbreak.
Yes.
Motion carries, the resolution is adopted.
All right, let's move to old business. So last council meeting I had brought up, we had received an email, many council members had received an email from the distillery in town asking why a vendor at the farmer's market could offer the sale of alcoholic beverages and tastings of alcoholic beverages before noon when we have an ordinance. So perhaps Mr. Michello can explain where we go from here.
Thank you. I had an opportunity after the council meeting to do some research. Licenses that are provided for farmers markets are actually granted to the state. But in the state regulations, which does allow them for the serving of liquor at a farmer's market. However, the application specifically states, as does the state regs, that it must comply with local regulations. Local regulations in Morristown specifically state no alcohol may be served on Sunday before noon. Therefore, is my legal opinion is that the serving of alcohol at the farmer's market is in violation of our local ordinance and should cease immediately. I will put that in writing to the partnership so they know that. I'm going to offer that guidance, and I'm going to advise all necessary entities, whether it be police or any members of the administration, that that should not go on going forward.
Okay. So they could sell alcohol and allow tastings at noon, beginning at
Yes.
noon?
Anything afternoon is completely okay. They have the permit to do it under the state farmers market permit, but they cannot serve before noon.
Okay.
Just to clarify, they can sell before noon, but they can't serve. So
No.
a closed bottle can be sold?
No, they cannot. No, I'm sorry, they cannot sell nor can they serve.
Okay, thank you. Which brings me to our second point, which was discussing the blue laws on Sunday. I know that some people shared some opinions last time. We had Mr. Felice come and share his thoughts. I just wanted to open up for additional discussion to see what people are thinking. My opinion, or based off of conversations and discussions that I had, Morristown is a destination town, and people come here for the restaurants and the nightlife and the theater, but I think that, and I'll speak for myself, on Sunday mornings I like to walk into town with my dogs and my kids. I don't like there to be a lot of excessive noise, or whether that's related to people drinking or not, but I like Sunday morning to be more family time for my family. I think if we would allow the sale of alcohol earlier, and I know that we do allow special permits for special events like the World Cup, like St. Patrick's Day, things like that. I think that based on conversations and based on having discussions with different people, Sunday morning should be a break. you know, especially people that live very close to a lot of the establishments in the central business district downtown within your ward. You know, I think that they would definitely be upset if we did do that. I'm sure you probably have some conversations or whatever you want to share.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Yeah, obviously a lot of this would be affecting the fourth ward, and we've had residents from Community Place come in on a separate issue, voicing their concern with excessive noise. So something like this, yeah, and they're very tolerant as it is, but I think to add this on top of it is really putting even more burden on our neighbors who live in that, you know, central business district area. So I think out of respect for our neighbors, we really have to take that into consideration when we think about people drinking prior to 12 o'clock. And I know they, you know, they voiced their concern before, and I'm sure they would do it again, and they have every right to. So I will leave that at that for now. It's okay, Council President. Can I talk to the farmers market as well?
Yes, please.
You know, so this is more of a hypothetical, and it's, you know, but there's, you know, something called Murphy's Law. If you're not sure what it is, feel free to look it up. But there's, when I think of the possibility of something going wrong with farmers market, when you think about people serving booze, not in a highly regulated arena like that. So let's just say, you know, someone's out with their family and their children in the morning, they're going to pick up fresh Jersey corn or the Jersey tomatoes in farmers market. And I get it, you know, I respect anyone who wants to make an extra buck and promote their product. Let's just say someone's giving out free booze. 99.9% of the time, no problems. But what about the time when you're in an open space, it's not regulated? Maybe someone up the street is suffering from addiction, say. They're sitting on a park bench and they get word that, oh, they're giving out free booze down the street. Who's going to tell that person no, they can't have it? That confrontation could start. What if something happens and a fight breaks out in a Morristown Parking Authority parking lot? Then what? I mean, we could be setting ourselves up for a disaster. Again, most likely it wouldn't happen, but why put ourselves as a town in that position where something could happen and something that's supposed to be for family? Why are we giving out booze? Like, what if a parent says, hey, you want to take a sip of this? There's no one regulating that they can't have a sip of vodka. It's got to be highly, highly regulated, but that can't happen. I just don't think it's a good idea to be serving, you know, even if it's just a small shot of booze. I think you're just from a liability standpoint. I'm not a counselor. He is, and maybe you can speak to it more. So I'll put on my fake lawyer cap. I think that could be, just look Murphy's Law again. Looking at Murphy's Law, anything that could go wrong, will go wrong. I'll leave it at that. So.
Thank you. Pastor Silva.
I think that we should leave things as they are. Okay.
Councilwoman Foster.
Well, I mean, I share the same sentiment. I mean, because this would be for liquor stores as well, correct?
Correct.
It opens up. So, yeah, I think we need a line at the liquor store on Sunday mornings, people coming out of church services, worship services. You know, I mean, not that everybody enjoys family time. Maybe people aren't family oriented. I get that aspect, but I think if we go open up Pandora's box, you know, a lot of people won't flood down the liquor stores at, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning every Sunday. I mean, people in our town like to drink. And I mean, include me, I drink, you know, year and year. I used to drink more than that. Not as much now, depending on circumstances for water. But, you know, just from an ethical standpoint, and just, you know, our town is our town. And I don't know that we should compare, you know, our town where, you know, we're under Murphy's Law, we do it 12 o'clock. So the towns, I don't think anybody's, you know, hurting for money that these businesses that want to open up for baby showers and that kind of thing to serve alcohol, you know, early in the morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I don't really see the need for it. And I don't see on the flip side residents coming asking for it either. It's not like, you know, we get the residents that have opposition, you know, based on what they experience in your neck of the woods, you know, for it. But I don't see a lot of residents saying, hey, why you guys don't let us buy alcohol at 8 o'clock in the morning? So, I mean, I think we should leave it the way it is.
Councilman Plutchuk.
So, I have a question. This specifically says Sundays on-premises consumption. How does that apply to liquor stores, which is off-premise consumption?
I don't know what this ordinance is. This is, I guess, some title that was placed on it.
Well, I went through our code, and our code regulates on-premise consumption.
Correct.
Monday through Saturday, and Sundays is different. How is that applicable to liquor stores, which is off-premise consumption? I don't think our code regulates it.
Our code, absolutely, you cannot purchase alcohol before noon in Morristown, per the code.
On Sundays.
On Sundays, correct.
Okay. go.
Yeah.
All right. I reached out to all my residents, and the vast majority of the feedback I said that I got was this is a good idea. Basically, a lot of people came back and said, what's the difference between Sunday and Tuesday or Saturday? Any other day of the week is 7 a.m. starts the consumption. Now, I understand you want to walk in town with your family. I do it too. How many restaurants do we have that are BYOT? There's nothing stopping anyone from coming in with a bottle of champagne on that and serving mimosas or even a glass of wine or beer or anything. There's nothing regulating that. So why are we hampering our liquor license establishments by regulating them to noon on Sunday when the restaurant next door can actually serve that they can't? The difference is who brings the bottle. Getting to the farmers market issue and tastings and whatnot, I can see the point on that. I personally don't think it's a bad thing. It's not like they're serving full drinks or even full shots. Like, if you can really taste what it tastes like from what they serve you, you're doing a good job. I don't see anything wrong with selling a sealed bottle at a farmer's market for these small craft distilleries. The request that we got from the Dismal Harmony in the email, the way I interpret it is open it up for me because they can do it as well, not restrict it for everyone else. So I feel like we're kind of going backwards on this one. I don't see any reason why Sunday is any different than Tuesday.
Well, when you
Councilman
said
Ian.
7 o'clock, where can you get alcohol at 7 o'clock in the morning on any day?
Based on our regulations, it's 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. any day of the week except Sundays.
Councilman.
To start with my comment, I agree with Chris, but I think the issue there is actually the free sample. Free alcohol samples should not be permitted anywhere. Okay, I think that's your point, and I tend to agree. Whether or not they sell it at the farmer's market, I don't have an opinion. I actually had a very similar opinion than the majority of the council did before I talked with Steve. Sorry, Steve. And then I thought to myself, I better survey some people and find out what their opinion is. Because I'm like you probably. I walk through town on Sunday mornings. One of the things I enjoy doing. I like the quiet.
Right.
But the other reality is I surveyed residents and my neighbors, and they saw no harm in it because it's a different type of alcohol. Okay, keep in mind, it's a Sunday morning. It's much like a Saturday morning. What people are doing, usually it is a brunch. It's a family event. It's that type of event. And I also contacted the three major churches in my ward because I was concerned. And they did not have an objection to it. They did not have an objection to it. What their concern was, which I found interesting, is parking on Sunday is usually free. And they have parishioners coming and they're parking around the church where there's meters and other things. And they don't have to worry about meters. They don't have to worry about feeding the meters or whatever when they go to their religious services. All well, that's good. So what they really were protective of is they're not going to start charging for parking. Okay, but you've seen it too. That's what everybody does. You park in a meter when you run into service. But the general position, in fact, was interesting. At one of the churches, they were actually saying, you want to know something? I went out for brunch after services, and I wanted like a mimosa or something. Actually saying I couldn't order. So I found that interesting, So I didn't find the churches were opposed to it, at least the three I talked to. Those are the three in my ward. And then amongst my residents, they were very supportive. Because they also pointed out another thing. These laws basically do have some root in religious belief in a quote-unquote Christian country. Okay? How do you differentiate between a Saturday and a Sunday? You really can't. Okay, there's religious services on Saturdays. You've got faiths that celebrate on Saturday morning. You have faiths that celebrate on Sunday morning. I actually think there's a paradigm issue here that we have to address also. And I think that it's controlled. And the other way we do control it too is with the sidewalk permits. We do issue permits when alcohol is being served on the outside. And most of those times, when you walk through town any time of day, even at night, those sidewalk services are usually very well regulated, very well monitored, and everybody in those areas is very well behaved, you know? So I actually see, not only do I not see any harm, I see support for it, and I also think you do have a parity issue here between Saturday and Sunday. And,
Just to add on what Rob's saying there too, basically, I got the same exact feedback. And we did offer a special permit during St. Patrick's Day, because it fell on Sunday and 3 bars applied to it. I think it was Tavern Off the Green, 1776, and I can't remember the third one. My wife and I went on a Sunday brunch date, and we went to 1776, and we enjoyed a Sunday morning brunch drink. We were the only ones there. It was empty. And I don't see people flocking to bars at Sunday morning. The same people that are out Saturday night. It's a different mentality to what Saturday was saying. It's not the same type of drinking. And on top of that too, hold the partnership. And the overwhelming consensus from the partnership is they're in favor of this. Some offered different times. Some said it should be the same as any other day of the week. And some said 9 a.m. is the right one. So maybe the time's not the right one that we have here, but the general consensus that I've heard from every single person I've talked to, literally except for one person, was that 12 o'clock is the one time.
So that's good. You said that on St. Patrick's Day you went to 76 and you were the only ones there.
Yeah, there was my
At
wife.
what time?
It was actually 10 o'clock because that's when we had a neighbor volunteer to babysit. So we were there at 10 o'clock, which is when they were allowed to serve. And we were the only ones sitting at the bar. And I think there was one other group sitting on the other side of the restaurant, and that's about it.
Yeah, but to me sounds strange that St. Patrick's Day a place like that will be empty at that time. Because one of the things that I was going to comment is that we don't want a St. Patrick's Day every Sunday here. And I agree with the fellow council members that spoke about, family, children and all that. So for that reason is that I stated very simple that we should leave it the way it is.
Comments from administration?
Want me to weigh in?
Yes, sir.
So, when you fail to realize the unintended consequences of what you're talking about, we're talking about somebody who lives on the other side of town, nowhere near a downtown bar. I can tell you that there's bars in our downtown that if you opened up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, it would be packed. When there's rugby games, when there's soccer games, when there's international games, these bars will be filled with people because you can go to the bars now and they serve bangers and eggs at the Grasshopper and it's a full bar, but they're not serving booze. And I would not want it on my conscience that you change the law so people can have a drink on a Sunday morning and get a drunk driver leaving a bar at 12 o'clock at night and cause somebody damage. I wouldn't want that on my conscience. There's no reason, there's no legit reason other than when you say it simply to go to a restaurant and have a mimosa. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about booze sells money. It's all about money. All right? It's about liquor sales. It's about bars, sports bars. I'm not going to name the bars. You know what I'm talking about. And the constituents in the 4th Ward where Chris lives will have to deal with that on Sunday mornings. And another thing is, the cops need a break. You know what they deal with every Friday night, Saturday during the day, Sunday all afternoon? The last thing they need is another morning full of people that are drinking and hooping and hollering because they want to go to a rugby game. There's nothing wrong with that. Or a soccer game, because there's international soccer games all over the world. And they're on at 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you have the opportunity to start selling beer and start selling booze at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're going to be there. I can guarantee it. I see a couple heads in the back shaking. And I think that, honestly, the reason why I don't think it's a good idea is for twofold. One is the downtown needs some peace and quiet after a busy weekend. This is a booming town, a vibrant town. Cops need a break. You ever been downtown at 2 o'clock in the morning? You see what they have to deal with. Kids come from all over here. They have to be somebody's father. They got to be somebody's psychiatrist. They got to be somebody's priest. They got to play all these different roles and deal with all different types of things. Now they got to do it again Sunday. Because Sunday afternoon it starts picking up again. The bars start getting crowded. People start coming out drinking and eating. And, I just think maybe it's okay that we have a few hours on a Sunday morning. It's not a religious thing. It is peace and quiet in our downtown for a few hours. Especially, that's making us in your neighborhood or Bob's neighborhood, but in other neighborhoods that are in surrounding the downtown immediate area, it's different. Whether it's the neighborhoods on Pine Street, whether it's the neighborhoods on Wetmore Avenue, whether it's McCullough, whether it's Maple, whether it's Madison, whether it's Jane Street, whether it's South Street. Those are the ones that get affected by this, not so much the outline. I mean, I get it, you guys are more progressive than I am, I get it, but I think that I don't see the need, and I think the councilman made a good point. There's not 100 people in the audience, oh yeah, we want the bars open. They could probably pack this place with 100 people saying they want the bars open at 8 o'clock on Sunday. Because when, Columbia is playing, who's their big rival? Uruguay at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, I guarantee you. And I don't want to, there's other issues that we're dealing with also with liquor on Speedwell Avenue and other areas in town that's a problem with liquor.
Yes.
So, don't forget, Speedwell
there's
Avenue,
bigger issues.
Martin, MLK.
Bigger
I
issues.
mean, the second ward area gets affected too because there's a lot of drinking. And there's a lot of issues that go on.
I'm not going to say anymore. Listen, it's your choice. If you want to change the blue law and start serving booze at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, that's your choice. I can tell you right now, though, you better have high solid votes.
There's a quick question, Mr. Mayor. Do we have issues on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with overconsumption?
I don't know, Steve. I'm just telling you right now. I think I can't be much more clear than what I just stated.
Understood. I'm just wondering if one day is different than the other.
I think, well, obviously a Tuesday is going to be different than a Saturday, Sunday, because there's no international soccer on a Tuesday morning. So yes, there's going to be a
People are working.
Yeah, but I'm saying Saturday morning.
I don't know. This issue hasn't come up, but just that basic instinct in the area where I live, and the amount of people that I have to deal in the neighborhood that are drinking. I don't know if you're around town as much as I am, or Nathan, or the pastor. I see drunk people walking in our downtown more than once a day. So, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons. I don't want to have to keep compounding them, but one of the main reasons is you have to have some semblance of quality of life in a downtown where people live. That gives some people some quality of life, having some quiet time where they can come out and walk their dog, walk down the street, get a cup of coffee, walk their dogs down Devar Street, down Maple Street, up Market Street, and not worry about, people coming in and out of bars and drinking on Sunday morning. I just don't see the real reason that's driving to change it. Other than a distillery saw somebody serving some alcohol at the farmer's market and say, hey, they can do it, I can make some money and I can do it. If the farmer's market never did this, we wouldn't be having this discussion. It never would have came up. You wouldn't be questioning me, you wouldn't be questioning your council members, or calling council members and trying to convince them to vote for this. This is a good thing. Your opinion is important. It matters, and I totally respect your opinion on it, and Bob's opinion. But I also think the 5 other council members didn't sound like they were for it, that we're not going to support it. I agree with that. That's all.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
And just to clarify too, I've actually had licensees reach out to me through the partnership before Dismal Harmony came in. So this was something I was considering before this even came up from Dismal Harmony. But
that's what drove it, right?
well, that's what drove it here, but not for me.
Okay, what
I
drove it
already
here-
had drafted an ordinance.
What drove it here was the fact that most people, including the clerk, as I asked them on record, didn't even know they were doing this alcohol there. One, they didn't do it the right way, because it's supposed to be cordoned off. And two, it actually is illegal to do in Morristown. So they were breaking the law for what, 2 years? And this law was created during COVID. We're not in COVID anymore. I believe this was created during COVID. The governor allowed this under COVID.
Correct.
So you know, you say we're going backwards. We're really not going backwards. We're just being okay. Don't have to change things that are working. That, you know, just for the sake of you know, I mean, you're innocently looking at it in an innocent way.
No, but you're bringing up another good point.
You're looking at it in an innocent
Yeah.
way, and I
But-
respect that. You're just going for the most
Yeah.
brunch. I get that, but that's not everybody.
But you're also bringing up a good point, and I hope we remember this conversation, because this council, prior councils have done a lot to quiet down downtown, and it is better. It is better. Chris, in the second ward, your building, your other buildings, basically it calls the war. You don't get those calls. Okay? There's a lot that has been done by this council, by this administration, to quiet down downtown. Let's remember this conversation. Because if we are concerned about what's going on at 2 o'clock in the morning, as much as we're concerned about what's going on at 9 o'clock in the morning, we should be concerned about 2 o'clock in the morning. Because that is what does disturb people's lives in the downtown area. And that's where I used to hear a tremendous amount. We changed the parking, the Ubers, did a lot to try to quiet that down. A lot of good things were done. But I think if that is the case, okay, we really have to then put our attention back to those evening hours. And what else do we need to do to get proper behavior and respectful behavior where residential and commercial and retail establishments can live side by side? You know, because I always remind people, the first project that was, I've been in town since 1981, living in town since 1991, downtown. And what revived, got the revival in Morristown started was residential buildings before commercial. And you've got to respect those residents there. And I think we've done a good job. I think we're going to continue to do a good job there. But if we're still concerned about the evening 2 o'clock hour, we should be just as concerned about 2 o'clock as you are about 9 o'clock.
I'm not.
No, I know you're-
I don't want to rephrase.
I know
I'm not
you're-
like concerned. And our police department does an outstanding job controlling what goes on downtown. They really do. But that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we have a very, very active, good police department, and it's staffed. I could probably even use more, but Jillian's like, no, we're not. But you know, I mean, sometimes I just see that sometimes things don't need to change. Sometimes they do, and you guys are good with that. You really debate it, which is good. You bring it out. You're not afraid to talk about it, which is terrific. Which is what we talked about a few weeks ago when people came in. We want to see people come out. We want to see you guys debate these issues. I think there's a bigger picture. There's unintended consequences if you make this change. That's all I'm saying.
And just want to emphasize what Councilwoman Foster said about the other words, because there are other issues that I don't want to expand here, but it's a lot of drinking in places that we frequently visit and frequently help people. And it's not about just one part of town or one part of constituency, it's the whole town. And sometimes we just think narrowly instead of open the spectrum and see the overall to see quality of life for everybody.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you for the debate.
Thank you. So with that, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?